Hi everyone, welcome to this practice. My name is Johanna. Today we're going to do a requested class, a Yin Yang flow, which means that we are flowing a little bit more actively the first part of the practice, and then we're going to move into some Yin poses. Inspired by my brother who's a climber, we're going to focus a little bit more on upper body release. So not only for climbers, of course, but those of you that have some tightness around the neck, shoulders, chest, and also looking for some healthy spinal movements, this practice will be excellent for you. Let's start seated. I'm just going to use a folded blanket today, but if you want to use some pillows, some blocks, go ahead and reach for that as well. So seated on a pillow or on a blanket, let's close our eyes. And just take a little moment, as always, to just arrive, feel your body right now. And making any small adjustments here to settle in more into your seat. Maybe relaxing those shoulders down. Softening and dropping more into your sit bones. Leaning slightly into the back of the ribs. Begin to breathe into the base of your lungs. Either just sticking with a belly breath if you are a bit more new to yoga. Those of you familiar with the Ujjayi breathing, start to contract the throat, create that hissing sound of the breath. And as soon as we deepen the breath, notice how we are arriving a little more into the space. Starting to relax further into the nervous system, into our mind. And after establishing that steady and deeper flow of the breath, let's take the hands in front of the heart, tilt your head slightly forward. Optional to set an intention for this practice. And then from here, we will slowly extend the arms up. You can start with interlacing your fingers here, creating Kali Mudra, so all fingers interlacing except for the index finger and the thumb, and just reach and extend those arms straight up. If it's very tight around the shoulders, you could bend it slightly, allowing the shoulders to drop somewhat. And then from here, take a deep breath in, lift a little bit higher if that feels good. With your exhalation, just a slight leaning towards the right side. Good. Inhale, pull yourself back to the midline. And with your exhalation, lean a little bit over to the left. We will repeat that. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, leaning over to the right again. Good. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, leaning over to the left. Breathe in, come back to center. And then with your exhalation, gently release the hands all the way down through center. From here, let's lower down our hands to the knees. You can start with extending the left arm, creating a diagonal line here down to the fingertips, and then let's drop our head towards the right shoulder. So I want you guys to feel the stretch spreading down from the neck into the shoulder joint itself. So you're going to slightly reach through that arm. And optional here is to move your head somewhat forward and somewhat back. So swaying a little bit from side to side to reach the various points here of the neck. Good. Maybe you find a sweet spot where you want to hold for a little longer. And then you can lower that hand down. Just roll your head all the way across to the other side. And now extending through the right arm, again creating that diagonal line going down to the fingers. If it felt nice, you can go with your head a little bit forward and a little bit back. Starting to, again, release any tightness, any accumulated tension that you might feel through this part. Many times when we experience stress, we're also shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears, and that whole region going from the neck spreading down to the shoulder blades and the upper back might feel a little bit blocked and tight. All right, lower down that hand, move your head back through center, and with your chin tucked down towards the chest, let's place our hands at the back of the head, interlacing the fingers. And now from here, we're gonna inhale, lifting through the heart. Allow the elbows to splay out, looking slightly up. And with your out breath, you're going to drop your head forward, let the elbows come somewhat together, and round the upper back. Good, so with a deep breath in, we lift, elbows come out, lifting through the heart again. And with your exhale out, dropping forward and rounding a little bit. Inhale, lifting through the chest, elbows splays out. And with our exhalation, again rounding. Inhale, maybe increasing the movement a little more, lifting that chest somewhat higher. And with your exhalation, you could explore to round the back a little deeper. And then one more time, breathing in to lift. And with your next exhalation, drop your hands all the way down. If you're sitting high up on a pillow, you may come a little bit lower. Make sure that one foot is in front of the other and start to walk your hands forward. So if this feels good for you, just stay right here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you could sink lower down towards the ground. And starting to stretch out a little bit further down along your spine. So you want to experience this movement along your whole back. You could even drop the head somewhat more forward if you want that stretch to spread down or up towards the neck. Breathe here nice and deep. One more in breath. Exhale out. And then from here, walking over towards the right side. Let's see if we can stretch and reach actively through our arms. So we come into a nice side stretch. Breathing into the left side of our body. If you want to deepen this, you will simply walk a little bit further to the side. Keep reaching out to the fingers. And then come all the way to center and walk over towards the other direction. Again, reach through the arms, lengthening. Gently pressing down into your palms. And then take one more deep breath. Nice, and then come back to center. Let's either walk your hands back, take the knees to the side if they're a little bit sensitive, or rock forward here and transition onto your hands and knees. And as we arrive here, make some space. We will then start to tuck our toes in, drop the belly to curve the spine, lift through the tailbone, inhale, look forward. With your exhalation, untuck your toes and round your back. Good, so we inhale, moving into that curved position, go as deep as feels good for you. With your exhalation, again, rounding the spine. So continue to follow the breath. and explore the sensations now. You don't want to overdo this, so make sure there's no pinching pain in the back, especially as we move into this back bend position. And just feel that we're starting to increase the fluidity now along the spine, all the way from the crown down to the tailbone. And then one more time, take a deep breath in, lifting. With your exhalation, start to sink back towards your heels now. You may want to take the knees somewhat wider apart, if that feels better for your knees. And then sink down, forehead towards the ground. And just arrive here into your child's pose. And this is such a beautiful, simple position to extend and lengthen your spine in a healthy way. Take a couple of deep and nourishing breaths along your back. Allow yourself to sink towards the ground, check in with the Ujjayi breath. And then see if you can slide those hands alongside your body. If it's too deep for the forehead down, keep in mind that you can take a block or a blanket underneath the head. And let's see if we can now reach for our fingertips, interlacing them behind the back. So if this feels sufficient for you, work on extending the arms here, keeping your arms somewhat close to the back. If you're able to lift your arms a little bit higher up and away from the back, explore that. Extending the arms up towards the ceiling, or again, closer towards the back if that feels sufficient. So just find a point where you can now deeply stretch into the shoulders and into your chest. Take one more deep breath in here. With your exhalation, allow the arms to drop. Relax the arms alongside your body, and for a moment, let them be completely heavy. Completely relaxed. Feel the effects for a moment. One more deep breath in. Good. And now from here, extend the arms forward. Lift yourself slowly back up onto your hands and knees. Make sure that your knees are hip width apart again. We will then walk our hands somewhat more forward. And now try to lower the elbows straight down towards the ground. We're going to join our hands together and then shifting our hips a little bit more forward, sinking the belly or back, sinking the belly and the chest down towards the ground, and see if you can lift the hands up so the fingers are reaching towards the ceiling, and then lower the forehead. So what we should experience here is a nice stretch for the triceps, the upper arms, and the stretch spreading to the armpit and into the chest muscle. So explore if you can feel that sensation. Breathe nice and deep, still conscious, steady breaths. Take one more deep breath in. And with your exhalation, extend those arms back forward, root the hands down. Push into the palms and then see if you can position your hands shoulder width apart. Continue to now shift your hips forward and let the upper thighs and the belly, everything just come down towards the ground. Once you're here, slide those hands under the shoulders, elbows close in. With your in-breath, activate those back muscles, lift up into a baby cobra. And with your out-breath, lower the chest down. So inhale, move back to that baby cobra position. Exhale, lower. Good. Breathing in to lift. And exhale, lower the chest down. Very good. Take a moment now to push back onto your hands and knees. We're going to tuck the toes in and then arrive into our first downward dog. So let's settle in here now, really lengthening our spine somewhat more. And do please bend the knees here as much as you need to keep the back nice and straight. So try to feel that alignment as if you could see yourself now from the side. Try to feel how you're creating the straight line from the hand pressing towards the ground and then spreading up to the tailbone. Stay with the breath. Good. From here, let's take an inhalation and shift ourselves back forward to plank. So shovel the feet a little back. With your exhalation, you're going to dip the knees down to the ground and then lower the upper body. From here, reach back through the toes. Inhale, explore if you can lift somewhat higher. And with your exhalation, lower the chest down. From here, tuck the toes in. Let's return all the way up and back, coming in to that downward facing dog. Again, explore the positioning here, maybe bending the knees generously or just a little micro bend. See what feels best. From our downward facing dog, we will take the right leg up behind us, reaching back, inhale. With our exhalation, let's step that foot all the way through in between the hands. Lower the left knee down to the ground. This can be a nice place to take a blanket under the knee if that feels good. Place your hands on top of the right knee. And then from here, positioning the ankle under the knee, let's reach the arms up high, coming in to our low lunge position. Once we're here, let's take our hands, interlacing them, placing them at the back of the head. And we will repeat those movements. Inhale, splaying the elbows out, lifting through the chest. And with our exhalation, crunching forward. And see if you can push into that right foot, hold the position. Then inhale, we're gonna lift again through the chest, lean a little bit further back if that feels okay for you. And with your exhalation, rounding and crunching forward. Inhale to lift. We're working with our balance and our strength here. Exhale, crunching forward. Push into that right foot. Inhale to lift. Extend the arms up overhead, reaching. And with your exhalation, join your hands together and find a twist. Hook the elbow to the outside of the right knee. Push the right hand in towards the left and rotate the chest nice and open to the side. So optional here, if you want to activate this flow a little more, tuck the toes in, lift the knee up. Otherwise, just keep that knee down to the ground. You can also explore to look past the shoulder. One more deep breath in. With your out breath, come back to center. Lower your hands down. And from here, we're gonna walk our hands over towards the left side. Let's check now that our feet are nice and parallel to each other. Press the fingertips down towards the ground. See if you can lift and lengthen through the spine a little more. Inhale. With your exhalation, just gently release and drop your head down towards the ground. With your in-breath, again, push into the fingertips, lift and lengthen through your spine. With your exhalation, release and fold, just a wave-like motion. Inhale, again, lift and lengthen, and exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, lift and lengthen once more. This time, let's sweep the arms behind the back. As we did in the beginning, interlace your fingers. Then extend the arms, take another in-breath and lengthen through your spine. With your exhalation, let's fold forward and down now. So drop the head, lead yourself forward with those arms, and see if you can create a little more space and opening once more into the chest and into the shoulders. Take a couple more breaths here. Allow yourself to drop into the crown, relax into the neck. One more deep breath in. With your exhalation, lower those hands down towards the ground. Lift yourself halfway up. Walk again forward, back towards the front. And now from here, root the palms down, step back into a downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let's inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Exhale, so either knees down. If you want to go a little further, keep the legs straight and then lower down towards the ground with that out breath. Reach back through the toes. Inhale, either cobra, or if you want to advance this, push up into an upward facing dog. And with your exhalation, from cobra or up dog, so remember your choice, come to downward dog. Arrive here, stay with a breath. Work on the alignment, so do bend your knees here if needed. Stay with a breath. Good. From our downward dog, lift the left leg up behind you, inhaling. With your exhalation, step forward. From here, dropping the right knee down towards the ground. Untuck your toes. You can start with just checking the alignment, bringing those hands somewhat higher. Then extend the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers at the back of the head. And start with splaying the elbows out. Take an in-breath. Lift and open through the heart. With your exhalation, crunching forward and down over the leg. Inhale. Again, lifting, opening, leaning slightly back. With your exhalation, crunching forward. Inhale, again lift and open through the heart. Exhale, crunching forward. With our next inhale, you can extend those arms up, reaching. And with your exhalation, join the hands and twist to the left. So work on the alignment here. Push that left hand into the right. Either stay with your knee down. If you decided to take this a little further on the other side, tucking the toes in, maybe also practicing your balance and looking slightly past the shoulder. Keep pressing into the right heel here. And then take one more in-breath. With your out-breath, come back to center. Dropping your hands down and then walking your hands towards the right. So I'm going to turn around so you guys don't have to look at my booty. And from here, we're gonna inhale, lift and lengthen once more. And with your exhalation, maybe you can explore to drop somewhat deeper this time, every time you fold. Inhale. Again, lift and lengthen. Focus on extension here and length through your spine. And with your exhalation, allow that to deeply stretch and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Notice that I walk my hands a little bit forward. And here with the exhalation, if you have space, walk the hands somewhat further back, pushing into the palms. From here, take an in-breath and lengthen. And with your exhalation, walk over towards the right foot. So we're gonna focus on a side stretch here. And I'm gonna give you some options. Either keep your hands towards the ground and reach towards that right foot, or you can cross your hands over the shin or around the ankles, and then pulling a little bit in opposite directions, letting the elbows splay out to the side, and then folding over that leg. So notice how I'm pulling a little bit into the leg, the elbows pointing in different directions. Take another deep breath. And then from here, we're going to let go, walking those hands gently over to the other side. So again, either reaching through the arms towards that direction, or cross your hands around the ankle, around the lower part of your leg, and fold. You can pull a little bit if that feels good, and then stay with your steady breaths. Take a couple more. Breathing into the right side of your body, the back of that left leg. Beautiful. From here, release, come back to center. Bring yourself up halfway, and then walk once more towards the left foot. As you come towards the front, root your palms down and bring yourself back to a downward facing dog. From downward dog, take an inhale, again come forward, plank pose. With your exhalation, choose your variation, with or without knees. Lower yourself down. Inhale, cobra, or extended arms, knees lifted for up dog. With your exhalation, coming back to your downward facing dog. A couple of steady breaths. Take a moment. And then from your downward facing dog, let's drop the knees down. Your choice if you want to keep them hip width apart or a little bit wider. Allow yourself to release and surrender for a moment in a child's pose. Staying with the breath. Observe this very moment and the sensations, the effects. Good, and now from your child's pose, let's bring ourselves to a seated position. It can be helpful here to sit on the edge of something such as a blanket, and then we will just extend our legs forward. Coming into shoelace pose, we're gonna take the right leg and cross it over the left. I know for some of you this might be more than enough. This is a big hip opening as well. If you'd like, you can go for the full variation here and bring the bottom leg in as well. You want to bring those knees more towards center, the outer and the top of the feet are rolled down towards the ground. And we will then start with the arms extending forward. Take the left arm over the right. Then see if you can wrap around the wrist as well. If this is too much, you're gonna hold your shoulders for eagle arms. Otherwise, cross over the wrists. Let's start off here. And if you do go for the full bind and eagle arms, you could lift the elbows somewhat higher so they're in line with the shoulders. And then really focus on breathing into that space, out the upper back, around the shoulder blades. Let the tension here slowly melt away. Letting go. Let's take about 3 more deep breaths on this side. Two more. And last breath. And letting go. Unwrapping your arms. And now dropping your hands down towards the ground. So if this is too much, dropping lower, you can of course just stay upright. And for those of you that want to explore more pressure, lean a little bit more over the legs. Checking that your sit bones are still rooted down onto the blanket or possibly towards the ground. And again, just explore here what feels available. Check in with those beautiful, mindful breaths. And take the opportunity here to also release the lower part of your body. Feel the opening into the hips, into the outer tracts of the legs. Take a couple more breaths here on the side. And now from here, gently rise all the way back up. You can help yourself here to come out of the position, just grabbing a hold of the legs, taking the feet somewhat wider apart, and then just lean into your hands and let's release those legs with a couple of windshield wipers. So just go a little bit here from right to left. Great, and then from here, let's extend the legs forward. So this time we will take the left leg on top of the right. So this might be your variation, or you're gonna go for the full fold. Check the alignment of your feet. Try to bring the knees somewhat more to center. And then extend the arms forward. This time, take the right arm over the left. It's good to try to cross over the elbows, especially if you are going for the bind, or remember the modification here. Lift the elbows so they are in line with the shoulders, if that's possible, and then settling in firstly, focusing on the upper body release. So again, just guide the breath into the upper back region, shoulder blades, the neck. Allow it all to get a little bit more spacious, guiding some fresh energy, some healthy movement into these channels. here, letting go, releasing that bind. You can drop a little bit deeper if you feel like that. And let's sink forward into our shoelace pose. Focus on the breath. Here we can gently rise back up. Again, helping yourself to come out of that deeper hip opening. The feet could be somewhat wider. And just sway a little bit. Go from side to side. A few of those windshield wipe motions. Here we're going to shift over onto our hands and knees again. And if you want some extra cushioning, an option is to take a blanket here at the top of our mat. So we're going to work with the outer track of the arms, stretch spreading into the upper back. And let's start with laying down on the belly. Lowering our elbows down, so coming into Sphinx pose initially. And now let's see if we can cross the right arm. The forearm is in front of the left, the fingers reaching out to the side. And we're just going to slide our arms apart. Okay, so slide in two different directions. And see if you can dig the shin down into the upper arms. If you experience that the pressure is too much here, you could have a block or a pillow in front of you here, something to lower down the forehead if you want a little less pressure in this pose. And then try to again soften your body here. Continuing with these yin poses, we are now really just dropping into each pose. Trying to invite this deeper pressure and opening. Breathe down to the belly. You can nicely stay connected to the deeper breath here by feeling the belly pushing against the ground. You will feel this pressure here into the connective tissue through the outer track of the arms, working with the opening of the shoulders, the upper back. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Good, and now you're going to lift your head up and see if you can slide the right arm out to the side towards the right. And we will then roll over to the left side of the body and come all the way around until the back connects towards the ground. You're going to bend the right leg 90 degrees and open up both arms now. Just spread them nice and open, the palms facing up towards the ceiling. So coming into a little rotation here. If it feels too heavy for the back, place the foot along the inner track of the left leg. And then you can turn your head a little bit as well towards the right. Take a couple of breaths here, drop into the right shoulder. Take this moment to open up through the chest. Take about 2 more breaths. One more. And then slowly roll back to the center of your mat. Come back to Sphinx position. And place now the left forearm in front of the right. Again, slide the arms apart until you can either hook the chin into the upper arms, or as I mentioned, use a pillow, a block, something to place underneath the forehead. And then look for that sensation again, the pull through the outer track of the arms, the deeper pressure. And allow that pressure to settle in. So again, relax your body. Drop towards the ground. Stay in a conscious space. Couple of breaths on the side. And then from here you can lift your head up again, pulling the left arm outwards to the side. Turn around, so come to the side of your body and then continue to rotate, bending that left leg and just spreading that left arm open to the side. Drop into the left shoulder, and you can turn your head slightly over towards that direction. Again, if it's too much, just keep the foot along the inner track of the leg here. Breathe into the chest region. Enjoy the opening around the chest. Take a few more of those steady breaths here in the twist. Good, and now from here, let's gently come back to our belly, so extend the leg, roll back to center, and just take your hands underneath the shoulders, allow the forehead rather, allow the forehead to drop, relax into the hips. Take a few conscious breaths here into the low back area, just observe and notice the effects through the outer track of the arms. Take a few more mindful breaths. Good, and then place your hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself all the way up and back. And then see if you can come to seated on your heels for a moment. Slide that blanket a little bit further back, and we're going to roll that up nicely here. If you haven't used a blanket so far in the practice, then I would suggest to find one or just roll up a firm towel. That also works. We want to create a roll that we can have underneath the tip of the shoulder blades, the base of the shoulder blades. So that region is usually a little bit tight and sometimes stuck in the upper back. We're going to lay on this roll. So make sure that you find that point again at the tip of the shoulder blades. Sliding yourself down, and either keep the legs straight or optional, go for a little butterfly pose here to open up the inner track of the legs. Lower down the back of the head, and then bring your arms into cactus arms, so just at a 90-degree bend. And observe here, maybe this roll is a little bit too high, this feels too intense, maybe it's too low, you're not experiencing so much sensation, so do adjust that if needed. And then allow yourself to just drop and relax into the blanket and feel that point that, again, many times feel a little bit stuck, a little bit tight. Allow that to just break open now. Feel that you are taking this moment to create some space around the heart area. A sense of freedom. Inviting more balance to your body. To the heart space. More harmony on a mental plane. Just relax into the root of the heart. Last few breaths here now. If you want to take it a little deeper for the final minute, you could lift the arms higher and catch a hold of the elbows. Here, let's lift the legs together if you are in butterfly pose, or you can step your feet in. And let's tuck the tailbone under and lift our hips up. And see if you can catch the blanket and just push it down, slide it to the side, and then keep the tailbone slightly tucked as you roll down along your spine. Nice and supportive, just to release towards the ground. Once you arrive there, knees into the chest, let's hug the legs in and lift your head up so we create a little counter movement. You could sway if you'd like. It's gonna feel nice after that little chest opener. Good, and now let's drop the back of the head down again towards the ground, lower down the feet. You could close with some windshield wipe motion here again if you'd like. Softly swaying those legs from side to side. Great, then extend the legs forward. Let's come into our Shavasana, our final pose. Feel free to have a blanket over your body or low belly. And just move those shoulders and hips a little bit so that you can nicely drop and fully surrender now towards the ground. A couple of minutes of pure bliss, embracing this practice. Gently awaken, making some small movements in your body. Whatever feels nice. And then you can turn over to the side, towards the right. Allowing yourself to rest here for a little bit. And then you can gently press up. And coming back to cross-legged. As we're settling in here, let's just cross our hands over the heart space for a moment, just feeling that love, gratitude, positivity at the heart. Thank you so much for being here with me in this moment and sharing this practice with me. And let's join the hands and close with a bow down. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis. I hope that this practice felt blissful and nourishing to you. I wish you a lovely rest of your day or rest of your night. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.